Here are today's headline. Have Microsoft Loop completed the circle? Mesh for Teams is released. Does it live up to the hype? We'll have a look at the new Teams and the new meeting experience. And there'll be some AI, something. And of course, tons of news here at Teams Nation News. I am your host, Mårten Hellebro, and with me, I have Amanda Sterner and Linus Cansby, who will give you the latest and greatest within Microsoft Teams. But before we hand over to them, we have some quick news here from the wonderful world of Microsoft Teams, brought to us by Microsoft Engineering and Microsoft Marketing. You can now forward that chat message that should have been a channel message to a colleague or a group chat. Fantastic. The Create Teams button has now moved from the bottom of the Teams up to the top of Teams. I have a feeling that some of us will spend more time change management and updating training materials and such, more time than it actually takes for all users to find this bottom improvement themselves. But hey, that is what it is. 3x3 videos. Yes, you calculated right. That's 9 videos in Edge and Chrome browsers now. So yay for you, Teams web browser users. And for your confidential meetings, watermarking is now applied to the meeting recording. So you can now record your confidential Teams meetings. And you can now also block chat messages from being copied or forwarded. According to our sources, both those features require the Teams Premium license. We have now said goodbye to Stream Live events. And in September, it's time to say a final goodbye to Teams Live events. Let it go, as the famous Disney character used to sing. And hello, Town Hall. Yes, Town Hall will be the new Teams Live event. And hey, it's like a Teams meeting, but without the hassle, and everyone stays on mute. Fantastic. So if you haven't tried Town Hall already, give it a try, and I'm sure you will never want to go back to Teams Live event. So we'll see what happened with the time frame, September. Let's see, maybe push to the future, but I'm sure this transition will go very smooth. With the new search experience in Teams, you can actually search and find things in your channel conversations and in chats. Fantastic. How long have we been waiting for this feature? Let's see, 7 years. Thank you, Microsoft. And have you noticed the new file experience in Teams? It's OneDrive in Teams. Fantastic. I didn't know I needed that, but now when I have it, I need it. So thank you, Microsoft, for that. On another note, can you guess who's celebrating 10 years as a CEO? Yes, you guessed it right. Satya Nadella, 10 years as Microsoft CEO, taking over from Steve Ballmer back in 2014, transforming the tech giant into the cloud computer winner, and turned the value up from $300 billion back in 2014 up to breathtaking $3 trillion value. That's the world's most valuable private company. Fantastic, what an achievement. And during this journey, Satya Nadella also acquired some impressive companies: GitHub, LinkedIn, Activision Blizzard, Mojang, the Swedish gaming studio known for Minecraft. Yes, fantastic. And I also believed he invested some $1 million in some AI, something startup, open something AI. Well, I guess all cool kids are doing AI and startup these days. Way to go, Satya Nadella. congratulations, and we look forward to the next 10 years. Speaking about Microsoft, they have recently released their Q2 fiscal year 2024 earnings, and they are on fire. Revenue was $62 billion, up with 18%, and Office 365 was up with 16%, with over 400 million sold Office 365 licenses. All this according to Vice President Nicole Herchevich. And yeah, I can admit I do own a few of those 400 million licenses. Yes, but don't go anywhere. We have more news. Now I turn over to Amanda. There have been some recent updates to the Microsoft Loop. Amanda, tell us what's up in Loop.
Hello, Mårten. Reporting here from outside the Microsoft headquarters. Maybe you're recognizing the famous sign, the building where you can buy all the nice things. So it's nice and sunny here. Well, enough about that. After a long while, Loop components are finally available also in channels and not just chats in Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Loop was announced a pretty long time ago, and we've been waiting a long time to be able to collaborate as collaboration was intended in a team in Microsoft Teams. So now when you create a bullet list, task list, maybe have a voting table or just a paragraph, that Loop component will be stored in the Teams SharePoint site and not in OneDrive. You know, OneDrive is for me work and Teams is for teamwork. Now, the only thing that we're waiting for is being able to connect a Loop workspace to the Microsoft 365 groups to really sew it all together.
Thank you, Amanda, for keeping us in the loop here at Teams Nation News. Now I hear some noise in my earpiece here. It might be Linus that is up to something. Let's head over to Linus and see what you are up to.
Hello, Mårten. I'm actually working from an office space today, so I'm not in my home office. As you can hear, it's a lot of noise here, other people having their meetings, and a couple of guys over there having a discussion about some old team stuff. So I'm actually going to activate voice isolation here in my Teams client. So probably you will be able to hear me much better and not focus on other people talking in the background. So I guess that all of us have been in meetings and calls when you are in an open office space or in a coffee shop, or maybe you're waiting for a train and you still want to take that meeting. So we've seen the noise suppression function in Teams that removes all the background noise, like train that passes, or when your desktop neighbor opens a bag of potato chips. But that been Teams removing noises and not other people talking. So I think that this feature with voice isolation will benefit a lot of us, especially for us that like to take meetings and calls when we commute. So we will see this feature soon, and Teams will actually identify your voice and remove all other voices that you hear. So how does it identify your voice? It will use samples. So first, to get this to work, you have to record a voice sample in your Teams client. This is actually the same voice sample that you maybe already recorded for using intelligent speakers in meeting rooms. So when this is activated, Teams will use that voice sample, identify your voice, and remove all other voices. I'm looking forward to use this more in open office spaces when I commute, when I'm on the bus and so on, so I can take my meetings and calls on the run. Maybe even I can have some meetings or calls in the pub. So I'm looking forward to this. So back to you in the studio, Mårten.
Thank you, Linus. I will just finish up my prepare. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more news here on Teams Nation News. Now, over to something that caught many of us by surprise earlier this year. It's called the new meeting experience. And Amanda, please tell us all we need to know about this new meeting experience.
Meetings is, well, a place where I spend a lot of time during my days. Therefore, it's crucial that meetings, they should just work. There are a bunch of new features to making sure that meetings will become even better. And let me share them with you. So, first of all, we have a new gallery view that some of you might have noticed. I noticed it. So as of now, all of you will have the equally same size in meetings. So you will see yourself as well as the same size as your buddies. If you don't enjoy that, there are a bunch of different options for you as well. You could remove yourself from the gallery. That means you will see your colleagues and the people in the meetings bigger and not just your big face. But then you'll be a little picture to the right. Also, you can hide your video completely. That means you won't see your video at all. But note, these changes only applies to you. So whether you hide your video or you remove it from a gallery, the other people will still see you. So don't pick your nose. Also, if you join the meeting from a Teams room, that video will be larger to reflect that usually there are more people in a room than at an office desk. Another thing you might have noticed is the changed buttons for your camera and your microphone. Remember before where you had to click a few levels down to reach the settings for your microphone or your camera? Not anymore. Those have moved out, making it so much easier and quicker to reach the different settings for your microphone and for your camera. Also, now you can have a secondary camera for your camera. And the last thing that I wanted to share when it comes to meetings is in regards to together mode. Do you remember together mode? It was very cool during the pandemic. I see people using it, and I think maybe more people choose it because it's a very fun experience. So now there will be a new together mode scene that will focus more on content. So not just you as a group sitting together, but now you as a group sitting together, seeing content. A lot of exciting news for meetings. Thank you.
Fantastic, Amanda. And remember where you heard it first? Here at Teams Nation News. Now, speaking about meeting experience, everyone, it's time to enter the immersive space. Ready Player One? Ready Player Two? Let's go. All right, here we are in the immersive space in Mesh for Teams.
Hello.
Hello, Linus. Hello, Amanda. Enjoying the view?
Hello. I'm enjoying the view, enjoying the birds.
Fantastic. Yeah, gonna walk around here and let's see. Hey, it's us on the wall there. Not 1 year ago, but 2 years ago. Yes, very nice.
Long time ago.
Yeah, much has happened. All right, but yeah, this is nice, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can be social.
Something different than regular meetings.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, nice. I think we need to jump out. We have other things to do here. But yeah, see you in the real world. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
A small step for man, a giant leap for Teams fans. Yes, great that it's finally released. And it's fun. All right. So, With Mesh for Teams ticked off the roadmap, what else is there to look out for in the roadmap? Linus, please give us the latest.
Yeah, I'm standing here in Seattle, trying to look over to Redmond and see what they have in plan for Teams and what's in the roadmap. So I found some things and let's look into that. So let's start with a new tenant configuration that will allow admins to limit what presenters can do in a meeting. When enabled, presenters will be able to have their focus on presenting, and they will not be able to control attending microphones and cameras, changing roles for other participants, maybe lowering hands and doing that stuff, removing participants. This will be up to the co-organizers or the organizers to handle. We expect to see this update some time in March, and I think this could be good for some organizations. If you are a user of Teams Phone Mobile and selected to receive calls in your native dialer on your mobile phone, then you notice that calls from Teams call queues, they are still arriving in your Teams app instead of the native dialer. And Teams calls, they are received in the native dialer. Maybe you want them in the Teams app instead. In March, it will be updated so users can select where calls should be received. And if you get a call in a call queue, you will receive that in the native dialer if you selected that. What else? Let's look into a meeting room. When you enter a meeting room, you will be able to scan a QR code on the MTR device, and you can use your native camera from your mobile phone, scan that QR code. You don't need a Teams app installed. It will download it to your mobile phone if you don't have it. And from this QR code, you will be able to join a meeting on the MTR device, and you will be able to control the meeting from your mobile phone that you joined the meeting with. We expect to see this update somewhat in April. So that's another new feature in the meeting room. What else on the roadmap? Yeah. Do you think that the meeting URL in your meetings is too long? I think so, at least. Wait no longer, or well, you have to wait until April, but then you will see a shorter URL without any special symbols in the URL, and you can much easier share that URL in a Teams chat or on mail or something like that. Another interesting thing for meetings, it's maybe if you have shared video in Teams meetings, so you share the video in a shared desktop. It's not smooth, I know. The video quality is not good. Therefore, Microsoft is introducing a new video mode that's optimized for videos in screen sharing. So you will not see any lag. The quality will be improved of the video playback. So a real advantage for all of us that want to share videos in our screen sharing. And final, on the roadmap that I'm going to talk about. So in the meeting room, we have a feature that many of you have been waiting for. And in April, you will be able to change the background image on your MTR device for Android, as in the same way as you have been able to do for Windows and MTR devices. So yeah, I know a lot of you there, you're looking forward to this. So hope you're excited for this. And now it's started to get chilly here. I think I'm heading downtown now and maybe go back to the office space. See you later. Back to you, Mårten.
Thank you, Linus. It's a lot warmer here in the immersive space. Don't go anywhere. we have more news for you here at Teams Nation News. Now, Amanda, she will bring us something new, something old, and maybe something borrowed and something blue.
Hello, Amanda here. And with me in my ear, I have Lori Pottmeyer and Kara Burgess. So, Microsoft Teams has been here for quite some time. And sometimes there's a need of an upgrade. And therefore, we have the new Teams client. Lori here, she's been the community lead for Microsoft Teams ever since the start. But it's time for her to say farewell and welcome Kara Burgess, who will be the new community lead for Microsoft Teams from Microsoft. Yeah, Lori, we will miss you so much in the Teams team. It's been amazing to work with you. Yeah, Kara, I'm really looking forward to working with you. So for those of you who haven't started using the new Teams client, 31st of March, you will have to.
Thank you. So maybe it's Lori Classic now. And new Kara, welcome. This is going to be great. All right, Linus, I have noticed something every time that we are in a meeting together. Your office, I mean, both home office and office, always looks so clean and fun and nice. What's the secret?
Thank you, Mårten. It's now time to look into how we can get our background to look better. Maybe remove some paintings I have here, adding some fun stuff to make it look better. Yeah, Teams is using AI. So if you have Teams Premium, you will be able to use this function that I will show soon. We've seen that we can use other backgrounds like a static image or some moving images in the background, maybe add blur, but now we will look into how you can decorate. So I will take you into the pre-join of a meeting and let's look into how this looks like. So when I'm going to join this meeting, I can select here to do some effects. And now we're going to look into the decorate. We're going to make my background more fancy, maybe. Let's make it fancy. Generate backgrounds. And Teams will now use AI to change my background. Maybe remove this painting or, look, fancy mirror here in gold. We got some other objects in the paintings. And we got another option. Maybe this was not the option for me. I want something else. I want to celebrate. So generate more. We do some celebration. And let's see what Teams can find here using AI. Balloons. Or what is it? This is fancy. It's party time. Yeah. Well, let's get a surprise instead. Generate more. What's like... Let's see what's happening here. I'm surprised. Well, this is an example how you can decorate your background with using AI in Teams. Let's do a cleanup now instead. The easy way of cleaning your room. Use Teams AI and it will remove all the clutters in the background. Back to you, Mårten.
Fantastic, Linus. Great tip. I will try that in all my rooms now. All right, while I have you on the line, I believe you have some news to share regarding telephony and frontline workers.
Yeah, thank you. I actually found my friend William here from Microsoft. You maybe want to introduce yourself for our viewers.
I am William Ridderström. I work in the customer success unit at Microsoft, specialized in what we call converged communications. So customers who has invested in this solution area, I am mainly supporting them to be successful with that investment of Microsoft 365.
Yeah, and there is a lot to be looking into now for the customers. For the frontline users, I've seen something new, a new license related to Teams Phone, right?
Yes, that's correct. So since 1st of February, it's possible to get a specific SKU for frontline workers with Teams Phone, which has a reduced price, but might lower the threshold a little bit to get into Teams Phone. And I believe in the frontline areas, we are seeing some really great use cases to actually start utilizing Teams Phone, especially for organizations that might be, lots of co-workers in this area, they are relying on multiple devices to do their daily communication. That might be a phone, might be a smart device for some reason, might be a legacy walkie-talkie, even more devices in worst case. And Teams Phone and Teams in general would actually be able to support all those workloads. So I think this is a great news, and really looking forward to see what our customers can achieve with this new licensing.
Oh, interesting. And I've seen that there are some new things coming when connecting to customers, that you will be able to allow customers to call you, maybe not with a phone, or they can call from a web.
Yeah, we're actually seeing, if you think of a retail store, for example, I've worked with some customers that has asked for something like this, and I believe the new click-to-call feature will support a lot of the use cases we are seeing out there. So what click-to-call does, it's kind of a widget that you can integrate with an existing web page or such, and then you can customize this widget to actually connect directly with an auto attendant, a call queue, or any resource within your team's environment. And what I would say the use case is here, imagine you're having a store, you're having different departments, for example, and maybe all of the coworkers are busy supporting the customers in the store. If you don't want to wait for someone who is physically available, you should be able to use the click to call on maybe a device that could be available somewhere in the store to connect with users on Teams instead, and still get this kind of live experience to meet with someone and get support with your question. But with the power of Teams, you can also maybe share screen and introduce the customer to the product you're talking about. And just to mention, if you really want to get out of the box experience with this, there are other scenarios to support also with the Teams displays, where you have the virtual front desk to support similar scenarios. So that one is really interesting, I believe.
Oh, sounds interesting. I hope we can see more of this in the future. To summarize this, we should get some help from our friend Copilot, and we will get some help for that in Teams calls, right?
Of course, if we are meeting like this, Linus, we need to speak about Copilot as well, of course. And Copilot is, as you might have heard of, available for Teams Phone as well. So not only for your Teams meetings, Teams one-to-one calls, also for the PSTN calls. And I think this is really making telephony very, very, very interesting again. It's a use case that we have not seen in the past. And imagine that you're on a call, no matter which device you're using Teams on. As long as you're on Teams, you can actually have Copilot support you for that call, give you a summary of the call, give you suggestions of next steps, everything that you might have seen already in your Teams meetings if you tried Copilot. So that one is, I believe, really, really interesting for the future.
Another reason to use the Teams app instead of the native dialer on your phone, so you can use Copilot and all other things that you have in the Teams app. Thank you for joining us here on Teams Nation News.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Back to you, Mårten.
Thank you, Linus and William. Now, we're going to head over to my colleague Ben Lee, who will give us some updates and news from the Teams Admin Center. Over to you, Ben.
Thanks, Mårten and team. Here I am reporting from the AI-generated wilds of Northumberland, and I had 4 things that I wanted to talk to you about today around Teams and the Teams Admin Center. First one of those is a new feature rolling out that will allow you to select the domain that is used for Teams-generated emails. Information is a little bit scarce about how this will actually work at the moment. I'm assuming this will be for enablement emails and that kind of stuff, but who knows? Hopefully, as the roadmap comes through, we'll find out a little bit more information, and I'm sure we can report back on that. Second thing is that coming soon to the Teams device store, which is also available in TAC, that is where you can purchase devices for your environment. They may become semi-pre-set up, ready for you to deploy, but soon you'll also be able to view and purchase Teams Phone and room licensing options through that store as well. So again, might be useful for some scenarios. Next is a change around real-time telemetry that you can find in advanced call diagnostics or call analytics. It used to be that you could see real-time information about a user if they reported a problem to do with a meeting. For a standard user, that will now be retained for 24 hours, but if you have a premium license, that will now be available for up to 7 days after the time that the meeting finishes. And a little caveat there that if your meeting is longer than 3 hours, you will only see the most recent 3 hours of that meeting. And then the main one that I wanted to mention is that there is supervised chat policy and functionality rolling out to the environments. This is something that I think is going to be pretty important to those in an education setting. The configuration for this is done in 2 places in TAC. The first one is a setting under Team Settings, and that is a little toggle box to enable role-based chat permissions. You can find this under Safety and Communications, as I say, in your Team Settings for the tenants. That is to turn that on globally, if you like. The other thing you then need to make sure you do is in the standard message settings policies. There are 3 configurations that you can apply. The first one is for full permissions. And the second one is for limited permissions. Third one is restricted permissions. Full permissions means that you can initiate a chat with any other user in your tenant. Limited permissions means you can be invited into a chat with anybody in the organization by someone who has full permissions, but you can't initiate a chat to somebody with restricted permissions. But again, if you're invited into a chat, then you can participate in that. And lastly is restricted permissions. That is, you are only allowed to be invited into chats. So in an education setting, that could be supervisors could have full permissions. Limited permissions might be staff who don't necessarily need to interact with students that often. And restricted permissions would be the student tier of users. Thing to bear in mind there and just be careful about is that I believe by default you get placed with the restricted permissions, so you need to think carefully about what you're going to apply in your global kind of default policy, if you like. And the other kind of catch here or thing to bear in mind is that this will only apply after the settings have been enabled. So enable it at the settings level, then apply the policies or check your policies, and then new chats will abide by those policies when everything has kind of settled down and replication has happened. So I hope you'll agree that's kind of four quick hints and tips about some new stuff that's coming along in Teams Admin Center. And with that, I'll hand back over to Mårten and the rest in the studio. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Yes, that was it from Teams Admin Center, or TAC. Has the Swedish word tack, which means thank you. So, tack, Ben. And now, I'm curious, Amanda and Linus, how do we stay updated in this fantastic world of new updates, announcements, enhancements, bug fix, news, all over the place? So, how to keep up? Amanda.
Well, I think that the most important thing is to find a way that you enjoy. So there are so many different places to find updates. There are podcasts, there are videos, there are blog posts, etc. My preferred way is following good people on LinkedIn, where I get a lot of great news. Like from Linus, he's a great poster of things happening in Microsoft Teams.
Thanks. And I would like to recommend following Tech Community. It's a community where you can ask questions, but it's also where Microsoft publish all their blog posts. So as soon as Microsoft have some news to publish, it will be on the Tech Community. They publish that. And of course, if you're an administrator, you should follow Message Center in Microsoft admin portal.
Yes, I definitely second that. So yeah, it's a hard work, but someone has to do it. Make sure it's you, so you don't miss the important things. But how? It's really hard to stay above the water with all the news and updates. But if we get over the surface for just 1 second and take a deep breath, what are we missing? Linus.
Well, I work a lot with calling. I would like to be able to set where calls should be routed based on my presence. So today I can route calls to voicemail when I'm in do not disturb mode, but for the other modes like busy or away, Maybe I want to route all calls to a colleague when I'm busy. That would be nice. Amanda, what do you have?
Well, I'm actually gonna say something that's on the roadmap, but I'm really longing for, and well, we'll be longing for until it's here. And that is, first of all, archiving channels. That is something that I've been needing in my life since Teams came. Also, something that I'm waiting for Microsoft to ship is the possibility to change the picture for group chat. I know, Mårten, you hate group chats, but sometimes I just want to have casual conversation about lunch and memes in a group chat, and then I want to pick my own picture for that.
Absolutely. I miss a little small feature that's actually in the mobile app, but not in the desktop app, where you want to post a Giphy. And you want to make sure it's the correct Giphy. But it's very hard to see because you don't get that larger preview before you post it in the post. So I would like that. And also, as I talked to you about in the beginning, forward chat messages. Great feature. Let's forward them into a chat conversation or channel conversation where they belong. That should be something. And change the window you are sharing without stop sharing and then reshare again. We had that for a while, but now it's gone. Anyway, so before we wrap this up, there were one more thing. What was that? Do you remember, Linus? One more thing that we should mention.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Copilot something. Yeah. Sorry, I almost forgot. Yes, everyone is talking about Copilot. So yeah, there are a lot of sessions about that. But we, Amanda, Linus, and me, we are early adopters of M365 Copilot. So why don't we take this opportunity at the end here to share some of our early findings, some of the low fruit hanging, and some wow experience using this. Amanda, you first.
I would say that the first wow experience I had with Copilot for Microsoft 365 is when you use it in meetings. I think it's just magic. You go in, turn on Copilot, you transcribe the meeting or record it, and Copilot will just give you those boring meeting minutes. I hate to take meeting minutes, and maybe some of you like it, but just imagine having Copilot there, giving you notes, saying you who said what, giving you tasks. And also, now that it's incredible, like part of Teams Premiums, you can also see who talked when. And for example, if somebody talked more than others, you can see that. You can see different section topics. So Copilot meetings, that's chef's kiss. I love it. And I think it works pretty good on Swedish. And hopefully it will be even better in other languages than English. That's, yeah.
And for us that are multi-language, we talk both Swedish and English in meetings, we have to keep aware that we have to change the transcript language all the time. That's a good take on it. My biggest wow moment on Copilot was actually almost a year ago during a summit when they showed us Copilot. And the presenter asked Copilot to summarize all the questions. It was a hybrid meeting, so Copilot summarized all the questions from in the room and from remote participants. And not only that, it also showed the answer on all the questions. So for me, it's also summarizing meetings.
Fantastic. Yeah. Meeting recap. Fantastic. And what also struck me in the beginning was I was eager getting into PowerPoint. I wanted to do these fantastic presentations in seconds. And yeah, it creates presentations in PowerPoint in seconds. But when turning into Copilot in Word, wow, that gave me some real good value into the text as well. So yeah, Copilot in Word, really good at creating content, not just make something unvaluable look good. So yeah, try the different Copilots and see where they are good at. All right, people. Before we close up, remember to migrate your Stream Classic videos before April 15. On that date, it will be retired and all your non-migrated videos will be deleted. So make sure it's not your job that gets deleted. Get those files, videos migrated. All right, thank you very much, Amanda and Linus. Always a pleasure. And thank you for watching Teams Nation News with all the greatest and latest of Microsoft Teams. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Look out for the recording. Stay safe, stay updated.